On Meridian late tonight, the man at the centre of the Bosnia aid controversy disappears. A row over council tax in the Test Valley. And factory staff narrowly escape an explosion. Good evening. The man at the centre of a mystery over tons of undelivered aid for starving Bosnians has apparently disappeared. Jerry Pierce from Poole was supposed to be taking the goods from a warehouse in Bournemouth, but they're still there. Mr. Pierce has now vanished from an hotel in the former Yugoslavia, leaving behind an unpaid bill. Guy Phillips reports.
Stacked high in a Bournemouth warehouse, boxes of clothes, food and medicines which should have been delivered to starving families in Bosnia before Christmas. It's unlikely the goods will ever get there. The man in charge of delivering them has gone missing. Jerry Pierce had his passport seized by the authorities in Split 2 days ago. Now he's vanished, leaving behind an unpaid hotel bill of £3,500.
He told us, now I'm going to England, and we ask money. And he said, oh, I have now money. I must go first to England, and then I come back and give you your money.
The unpaid bill includes almost £800 for accommodation for 7 people, £210 for a Christmas dinner, and a telephone bill for £1,700. At the warehouse in Bournemouth, they're about to throw out the perishable food, which is now going off. A charity in Christchurch today offered to transport the aid to Bosnia themselves.
A lot of people all over the country have been very well-meaning, the same people that are donating to us. It shouldn't be in a warehouse, it should be over in Bosnia.
But the warehouse says legally the supplies can't be moved without Mr. Pierce's authority.
There's a new row over the council tax. People in the Test Valley area of Hampshire are being charged extra if they get better services, such as a swimming pool. People in Andover will pay £23 more than in Romsey. Max Prangnell explains.
They say it's the beginning of a slippery slope in the Test Valley, charging people who live in Andover more for their amenities such as swimming pools and streetlights than those that live in the surrounding countryside. But that's just what the Conservative-controlled council is planning to do when the poll tax is replaced in April. The council is set to charge those who live in the town itself an extra £23 more than those that live in the valley's picturesque parishes. It says country folk pay enough anyway through a parish tax, and besides there are more amenities in Andover. But it's an argument that's already splitting the council.
The people in the rural areas are benefiting from Andover. Exactly. Andover is losing everything to keep the people in the rural villages happy.
The Test Valley Council is reported to be the first in the country to be making a distinction between the town and the down.
I don't think people will be cheering in the streets that there's a slightly extra charge in Andover, but I do ask them, compare the charge that they will be facing with their neighbours in Winchester, in Eastleigh, in Southampton, and they'll find yet again that Test Valley has a lower tax.
The council has delayed a final decision until next month.
Staff at a Hampshire factory ran for their lives this morning after an explosion. The accident on a quiet industrial estate at Borden is being investigated. Kerry Swain reports.
Burnt-out staff cars were buried under rubble. An hour earlier, people would have been in them arriving for work. The explosion ripped the building apart. Walls were blown out. Victory Workwear moved to the Woolmer industrial estate in Borden only a year ago. They wash rags used in industry. The blast and fierce fire have wrecked valuable machinery.
Staff here had an incredible escape. They were in this part of the factory having their tea break when the explosion happened. Only minutes earlier, they'd been working in the part of the factory which has been gutted in the blast.
We had a very large bang and the building actually shook. I actually thought that a vehicle had reversed into the building, so I ran downstairs to have a quick look. Didn't see anything. Came out the back of the building here, looked across and could see that some sort of explosion had taken place.
The cause of the explosion isn't known. A gas leak has now been ruled out. Investigations are continuing.
A 16-year-old boy has been killed and 2 other youngsters seriously injured when a car went out of control and hit a tree in the New Forest. The accident happened on the B3055 road at Balmer Lawn between Bewley and Brockenhurst. All the teenagers in the car were students at Brockenhurst College. Firemen called to the scene spent 20 minutes freeing one victim trapped in the wreckage. A 4th teenager in the car was taken to hospital with minor injuries. Police say the accident happened on a bend. It's not yet known why the driver lost control of the car. Police say he was 17. A row has broken out between environmentalists and the government over the new Brighton bypass. The Department of Transport is proud of this section of the A27. It's given it star billing in a new handbook on how roads should be built. But Friends of the Earth say it's an example of how not to build a road, calling it an ecological disaster. The oldest newspaper in Hampshire made headlines today by publishing news on its front page. For the first time in 220 years, the Hampshire Chronicle has done away with its traditional front page advertisements. The editor decided to make the change to try to sell more newspapers. Finally, teachers at St Augustine's School in Weymouth are all wondering whether they're suffering from double vision. 4 sets of identical twins have just started there. First, there's Darren and his brother Michael, Laura and her sister Charlotte, Natalie and Nina, and Deanne and Katrina. But despite the similarity, teachers can tell them apart. And that's all the Meridian news for today. Our next bulletin is at lunchtime tomorrow. Good night.
Good evening. Well, a few spots of rain around already, and I think we're going to have this rain with us on and off through the night. After midnight, it's going to get quite misty and murky with patchy fog over the highest ground. Your lowest temperatures are at the moment around 41 degrees Fahrenheit. By dawn, they could well be pushing the 50-degree mark. Now, our chart for noon tomorrow, that shows tonight's front and rain moving out of the way, brightening up for the afternoon, but we've got a very wet and windy morning to come. Tomorrow morning itself, outbreaks of rain right through the area, some of them on the heavy side, southwesterly gale force 8 winds in the channel, 25-mile-an-hour inland, but by midday starting to brighten up in the north and the west, and by late afternoon it's sunny spells just about everywhere, and the winds easing down as well. Your best temperatures 10, that's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's all from me now. Good night.